What's good, guys? It's your boy CS back with another one. In today's video, we are going to be doing some analysis on Bitcoin, altcoins, and numerous different charts. I'm going to be answering a few questions that a few of the guys in the group have asked. And we'll look at some of the top memes and the alt indexes and the fear and greed, etc., etc. So without further ado, let's just dive straight into it. So we got a catalyst of a move because of Jerome Powell's comments on Friday. And if we just look at this, I'll probably just use a more fresh chart. It was literally at the start of that meeting, there was literally no wick down. We got a 3% move on Bitcoin. Now, as many of you have seen, this caused an absolute catalyst move for ETH to spike up. And it hit its all-time high around this region, which I posted within the group. Within the private group anyway. And I said, look, that would be a good place where you want to monitor ETH because we're going to see a cascade of liquidations. And so from there, what we can deduce is RSIs are super high up. Any flick up, this is literally going to go sideways for ETH. This can't go down at this point because the RSI is so high on every time frame. Even with the 15-minute now dropping, all this was a reset. The whole past couple of I guess like a week or so has been a reset, and ETH keeps doing this reset where it resets the RSI and then boom, resets the RSI and then boom. And right now it's reset again on the lower time frame. So any flick up, as I always say to people, anytime this flicks up, this is going to full send. And on the higher, or let's say medium time frames, or like 2 to 4 hours, for instance, we've got a really high RSI. So even if this did come all the way down and we came back to like 4,518, right, onto this support trend line, any little flick up. So when I talk about flicks on the RSI, what I'm saying is this little flick, if it flicks up, it will move ETH humongously. And you can see this on the lower time frames or medium time frames, right? So let's look at the RSI here, right? Here, it's kind of bottomed out. Now, this is just a tiny little flick up, just this bit here, right? So at 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. So from 4 a.m. was the bottom, and 5 to 7 a.m. was a flick up. Now let's go and deduce what happened. So at 4 a.m. that was a bottom and it hit a support trend line like at 3 a.m. So it would have been a good place to long. And then the little flick up that we saw at 5, 6, and 7 brought us up here. So if you're using lower time frames or medium time frames, and you have to have a mindset that you're trading within them. If you're trading on higher time frames, you can hodl a bit longer, right? And follow the trend, etc. So as we can see here, from here, this is like 4,670. It's about 100-point move, right? Which is a good move if you're doing like scalp trading and going high leverage, etc., like we do on the channel. So something to deduce here is that on the higher time frames, there was a flash buy around here on the 12-hour, and on the daily, we're still seeing this, which again, this on the higher time frame, it is semi-bearish, but what we need ETH to do is we need the ETH to eclipse this other RSI so that it resets. RSI resets are really, really healthy for a continuing trend. So if we look at ETH, right, and we just see this monumental move it's had from 1383, what we can deduce is, if we just take off everything, right, is that this is a trend and the trend hasn't ended whatsoever. When a trend ends, right, let's go to 2021. that's not the end of the trend. That's just, you know, a full nuke. And I can't remember what happened, but everything got hit like 50%, 40%, 30%. Like all alts got smacked during this period of time. But this is usually the top phase, right? So when you're trying to hit another all-time high, okay, you finally broke it, great. And then you start getting these little top wicks, so like 1, 2, 3, and then what we want to do is we're waiting for the all-time highs to get posted, right? Price discovery. Once that's been posted, we want to see how high the next wick can go. So like maybe in a week or 2 or 3 more weeks, how high that can go. That will signal somewhat good signs to take a short. You don't short at every single top price discovery all-time high, because you're going to keep getting wrecked, and you're providing liquidity. And it's on the same way down as well. Like if you're a buyer and the trend is short and it's bearish, you don't just keep buying. And that's why I never buy all bottoms, because they're hitting new bottoms. No, I don't do that. I wait to see is there like some demand here over the next couple of days? Are we seeing some good wicks around here? And ultimately, what I'm trying to say to you is right now we're in a full-on trend, so we shouldn't be thinking about tops and bottoms. We should just be following the trend. And like I said, following where the dips could be. Now, granted, I personally thought, and again, this isn't on ETH because I've already got my ETH long and I've got my other longs, but for other alts that had got really baptized, like some of the ones that I wanted was like GigaChad. Like such a shit coin, but GigaChad and a few others, right? I really wanted a few others to add to my portfolio, and I did say I'm sidelined, so I'm not gonna, you know, retract from what I said. I was sidelined because I thought we might get a little bit more of blood, and then I was going to look at how we might get the demand. But because of fundamental news of Jerome Powell's speech, we got, you know, this big candle up. And so what we need to do now is buy the alts and buy the dips, more importantly. So when we come on to things like this, like the dominance, we can clearly see that the trend, like if we flip this, oh my God, my things are all messed up at the moment. Ultimately, the trend is very, very simple, right? It's coming all the way down like this, correction, down, correction, down, and then like wherever this bit finishes, we'll get another correction, and then we'll move down again. And it's, you know, it's ping pong. It's ping pong. You need to be buying the dips ultimately, and that's the most important part. Now, the reason why I made this video on a Saturday, and I'm making it on a Saturday, is because the CME gap is at 117,230. So I'm just putting in my alert there. Don't know why I had that one there. I thought it was there for some reason. And ultimately what this means is Bitcoin right now is at 115.5. So we're looking at dips right now. I think Saturday might just be a dip day. I might just wait a bit longer. And then tomorrow, Sunday, we always get this charge up. I don't know why it always happens, but we always get this charge all the way up to the CME gap. So regardless, that would be a very good buying opportunity. Now, some things I just wanted to look forward to ahead is... Oh God, what's wrong with this? Right. For some reason, it's not showing it here, but we'll have the interest rate announcement. And obviously, Jerome Powell has not specifically said, you know, he's cutting interest rates, but it's likely, right? There's no actual official decision, but everybody's reacted off the initial comment, which is good. It's very good, actually. So it puts us in a very beneficial position. But at the moment, I'm just going to show you what Bitcoin looks like. So we've got Bitcoin on Coinbase at 115.4, Binance at 114.8, and then all the other Bitcoin prices, there's a bit more fluctuation. Sorry, I've not got them because they're not on my main ones, but you might have like Gate.io on my, which has like 115.1. So right now, Bitcoin's trying to find that gap in price so that everybody can, because the move was so quick at 3 o'clock, they're all trying to jam pack the liquidity on their specific exchange so that it all matches up. And so this Binance one, for instance, that's a massive gap between that and the rest of these below and the Coinbase one. There's like a 600, 700 point gap. So something to just be aware of. Now, in terms of alts, other alts are still beelining. So as you can see, Solana and AVAX are still green today, whilst the majority of altcoins, like let's take a look at Brett. Well, Brett did like a 21% move, so that's only natural. And then I was just hitting back into that trend line. So look, all these coins are naturally going to get a bit of a retracement. I may even just wait tomorrow a bit more and then add some more. But the blood that we're seeing is good blood at the end of the day. That's the way that I see it. I think this is good blood. Take out the late longs. Those late longs will get really annoyed, and what happens? It becomes a repeat poisonous cycle. Oh, I should have bought really early, and that's the problem, guys. Which is, you don't need to trade every day. Unless you're a scalp trader, you don't need to trade every day. Like, there's actually better ways to trade, which is just to take some time off, stay sidelined. And even now, I'm making this video for you guys so that you don't become one of these late longs. Like, you're probably longing right at the back end once the move's already happened, and the market makers are just going to come take you out and then repeat the process. They've got you as the exit liquidity, use your new liquidity as longs and push the price back up. Once the prices move back up, you're going to get used as exit liquidity again. And that's the truth. That is the truth behind it. And it happens on repeat, on repeat, on repeat. And as you know, I literally said, I've given so many Brett signals of late. And the signals I've given, you could have just put your stop loss to entry and lost nothing each time. But this one in particular, I said buy here at this support trend line. If you bought, literally when I said, you're in major profits right now. So again, my alerts in my private group, they're second to none because I'm giving you the best entries that you could possibly have. Now, in terms of altcoins, and like I said, I feel that there is a little bit of a retracement, but the RSIs on the lower time and the medium time frame are resulting in a cascade liquidation event for short. So people that are getting excited here that are like, yeah, this is just a pump, so we can dump it and stuff like that, like Capo and all the other rest of them. Good for them if they think that. And you know what? Maybe interest rates don't get cut. Maybe it is just a facade. Like, we've got to think as well logically. Like, we're not just always bullish. We've got to be bearish sometimes too. So it could just be a facade, and that Jerome Powell actually doesn't cut interest rates. He's just merely saying it. You've got to remember what he's saying. He's not made an official decision. He's saying that that's on the cards. There's a big difference between speculating and an official decision. And that's where we as traders, as investors, need to be one step ahead of the curve and obviously understand basic English where nothing has been made concrete. So until that has been put in play, we're obviously acting on speculation, which is fine. But what we want a big spike down where a lot of people will then be like, oh my God, it was just a fake event. And then we can buy that wick down and then it will charge back up. That's all the market's going to do at this stage because the RSIs right now are ready to rock and roll. I just want them to actually just come down a bit more, especially like when I'm looking at the ETH chart, like how long this sat up there. Imagine ETH goes all the way down here to 35, let's say. If to 35 might bring it here, and any little flick up would send it very, very quickly. And that's all I'm looking for, to be honest. Okay, so just while we're on ETH, we had Yuri asking, is those spider lines? No, unfortunately, I deleted, by accident, I deleted a spider line chart. However, this is horizontal resistance. So it was the only one I could really get. But if we did use some type of spider line chart, and I mean, I could have just done this. Maybe something like, I'm just looking at the tops. That looks all right. Something like that, maybe. Or maybe like that. that would have been the spider line of all spider lines, because it's crossing through, look how many intersections, resistance, resistance, support, 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 resistance, support, support, and then resistance, resistance, support, resistance. And then if we go here, takes that, basically the top, and then basically takes that top. So that would have been the best spider line chart, to be honest. But yeah, there's a spider line here that I've got from there, which would take us to thingy. Problem is, Yuri, I've not had the time to redo ETH. But yeah, you can add the spider lines yourself, to be honest. If you look at intersections from the tops, and even on the bottoms, you can just... It's better doing this on a PC. I don't really like doing this, but like as you can see there, this is a really good spider line like that. Look at that. That looks actually pretty nice. I like channel wise. Actually, I like that. That looks like a nice channel that we're in on ETH. And then we come and nuke all the way down here. Nah, psych. I'm only joking. But yeah, draw the spider lines because they are very, very helpful. A lot of people don't like spider lines. As I said, I got spider lines from CryptoFace. I mean, he's a hit and miss trader at the best of times. But at the end of the day, his spider lines and his market cipher, program is second to none. So it's why I love it. What do you mean by cascade liquidation? It will fall or go into price discovery. Why won't it go higher when it reaches that level? Good question, Shane. So, okay, so when I said cascade liquidation, what we have to do is we have to go into, I'll just zoom out a bit then. We have to go into lower time frame. So what happened was we got an initial rejection, and then we came back, and then we came and we took out quite a lot of shorts here. Now the cascade liquidation basically sits around here, okay? And the reason it sits there is because I don't know how many exchanges you guys have. I have multiple, and the reason why this is important is because so for instance, I've got Mexi, Blowfin, Gate.io, KuCoin, even CoinGlass, even some apps that I don't even use, even some exchanges I don't use or I can't use because I'm not in their territory. I still have the apps, and they give me these notifications, which is like, ETH just hit 4850. Bitcoin just hit 115,000. If you get those notifications, what tends to happen, if you actually watch, Bitcoin or ETH will hit those targets. But as soon as those notifications get sent out, it goes back in the other direction. Because what it's basically doing is it's giving an alert to traders and investors that, oh my God, it's hit a new milestone. So then they get FOMO and then they jump into the trade. And what tends to happen is the trade goes against them because they've got so much FOMO because it's moving and it's hitting a new milestone. It goes the other way. So when this happened, it went to 4850. They basically gave the alert are like here, right? Or maybe here, right? So within the space of like 20 minutes, half an hour, all these people are piling in, like ETH at all-time high, ETH at all-time high, ETH at all-time high. And literally I said as well, like ETH at all-time high, that is where you want to be looking at, where if it causes a true cascade liquidation, it will full send this properly. But it's not full sending because there's a big sell wall there. So that cascade liquidation can't happen just yet. So until that happens, we can't break that sell wall because there's a lot of shorts that have just got added in. You've got to also remember that just to say ETH hit an all-time high, imagine all the people trying to long then, all the retail traders like idiots trying to get in. Oh my God, ETH's at all-time high. Is finally going to blow past it. No, we're going to keep you there. I'm going to use you as exit liquidity. ETH's already up 14, 15, 16% on the day. And that's why I said, be wary of the cascade liquidation that's going to happen to the shorts. Right now, it won't happen. But when it does happen, you're going to see you're going to see candlesticks like this on the 5 minutes, just going boom, 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 like that. That's when you know it's game time. But for now, no game time, unfortunately. All right, Shane. Hopefully that hit. Nice shit, B. Well done. What else do we want to look at? So USD has now tried to climb back into this little wedge pattern. So if you look at the yellow trend line, we want this to get the hell out of here. We want this to come back down here and break through. We need this to melt through ultimately. And same with the USDT, the tether dominance. Maybe if I make this a bit wider, this looks a bit better. Yeah, this one's a full clean break on the tether dominance now. I think it's just going to come back for a back test. You know what? I might even just put an alert. If this comes back and hits 4.3%, I'll be happy with that. And I wouldn't mind longing around there just with a tight stop loss on some of the shittier, altcoins and meme coins that I want to get into. So, yeah, okay, we're in business there. Other than that, actually, just coming on to B, right? We had a conversation within the private group, and I think I mentioned this to quite a few people, which is you really want to be focusing on the dino ones. So like ETH, which has not hit all-time highs. It's not hit all-time highs. Solana has hit all-time highs previously in the last wave of alt season, but has not, and so is good. AVAX just looks like a double bottom, triple bottom, treble bottom, quadruple bottom. However many V's you can see here, it's at the neckline right now, and it looks like it just wants to absolutely center like 40. So AVAX is another one. I mean, a lot of people don't like XRP, but at the end of the day, you're here to make money. All the XRP hype has died down. Where are the same people that said it's full of shit? Look, I don't like XRP too. I really don't. But at the end of the day, it's just moving. Why are you going against the trend, and why are you believing people that are saying XRP is shit? They just want to buy it for themselves. That's the truth behind it. The truth behind it is they're longing XRP and telling you that it's a shit coin, when in reality, it's moving, and it's moving like like anyone's business. And that's the thing, which is if altcoins are going to move, even the shit coins, the ones that you don't like a lot of Brett people don't like Toshi. Toshi's going to move whether you like it or not, because it's just alt season. That's just what happens in alt season. I don't like XRP like a lot of people. It doesn't matter. The markets don't care about what I think. XRP is still going to move, right? And that's where you need to be in terms of your mindset, etc., as to what can move forward. And so the 3, 4, even I'll put 5, right, that I'd suggest that are like a bit okay. Doge is not risky. Doge is definitely not risky. But the 4 staples I personally pick are Pepe, Brett, Floki, and Ton. And to a certain degree, Whiff. Because Whiff has just got battered so badly that I feel like if Ansem does come back, and I feel he is going to come back at some point, Whiff is going to go nuclear. It's going to go ballistic. And I don't like Ansem. Here's even a better example for you. I cannot stand that motherfucker. I think he's the biggest hustler. No, he's not even a hustler. He's a scam artist. He's a big scam artist you could possibly think of, right, in this whole cycle. And he's gone away. He's not been posting a lot. But when Whiff comes back and it starts moving again, whether we like it or not, Whiff is a top 10 meme. And it's probably going to stay there for a while, right? Whiff is going to move as well, and it's going to go back. Look, at the end of the day, Whiff is one of the very few meme coins that has ever gone to 4 billion. Floki's never gone to 4 billion, and it's ahead of it right now. Fartcoin's not gone. SPX hasn't gone. Let's take a look at the list, right? So if we go back here, and we go on meme. So Pengu's never gone to 4 billion. The only ones that have gone to 4 billion are the top 3, Trump and Bonk. So only 5 coins have ever gone to 4 billion. Can you believe that? That's insane when you think about it. So, yeah, guys, that's where we are at the moment with the whole sector. If this is a true alt season, then again we're gonna see pumps like this really, really quickly, and that's basically it. Cycle done with. There's a lot to move forward with the dominance. Like I said, the dominance has only just broken this channel. And I know I've got pure alerts everywhere, sitting here, sitting there, but they are really important because we could come all the way down to 48%, and that move, a 10% move on the dominance going down, or a 20% move if we ever came back down here, would just result in absolute chaos for altcoins. And that's where we want to be, where we want to see this all, like come down to. And the weekly, this is coming down really nicely. The 4-day, the 3-day, the 2-day, the 1-day, the RSI is looking battered, and it's got more to come down. It's got a lot more to come down, and that's what's making me bullish, because the RSIs are so badly in favor of altcoins. All right, guys, that's it from me. Oh, just one last thing we want to check, which is the fear and greed. So we've now refreshed, come back into around neutral territory, which is good. And in terms of the altcoin index, we're like halfway there to, on the balance of probabilities, more money is now getting dominated within altcoins than it is within Bitcoin, as we can see from the index. So a lot more people are becoming more lenient and risk on rather than risk averse. And we saw that as well, just to corroborate that the SPX went flying yesterday. Went straight basically to all-time highs again. The Dow is at all-time highs. The Nikkei is doing, the 1, 2, 3, 4 pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. And we're about to go into the 4. That's where Nikkei is. And the FTSE, as I understand, is also at all-time highs. So there you go. We're at all-time highs on risk on assets. Everything's moving. The trend is in the favor. Most of the rotation now is going into ETH. ETH from last cycle is the catalyst. It's the prime mover that then moves the rest of the market. Nobody even cares about Bitcoin that much at this point. That's when it's a true alt season, when ETH moves. And that's all we were waiting for. All right, guys, that's it from me. Hopefully this one gets out to you by tonight, so then you can start approaching longs. And again, if we get a bloodbath on Monday, no problem. Take your time. Don't rush. Wait till market open, because a lot of the moves happen during market open where CME gaps and blah, blah, blah gaps need to get filled. You may even wait till Tuesday and then, full send. But at the moment, with the RSIs looking so extremely high, like on ETH, for instance, on the 1 hour and the half an hour, it's just shouting, buy the dips at this point, even for a small move.